Are you calling your employees independent contractors? The TWC has a test for that. Let's get into it. There are about 20 questions the TWC asks to determine if your employee is truly an employee or an independent contractor. We're going to go through some scenarios, and I'm going to talk about the employees part, while on the other side, I will show the independent contractor's definition. Under the common law test, a worker is an employee if the purchaser of that worker service has the right to direct or control the worker, both as to the final result and as to the details of when, where, and how the work is done. Number 1, instructions. An employee receives instructions about when, where, and how the work is to be performed. Training. Employees are often trained by a more experienced employee or are required to attend meetings or take training courses. Integration. Services of an employee are usually merged into the firm's overall operation. The firm's success depends on those employees' services. Services rendered personally. An employee's services must be rendered personally. Employees do not hire their own substitutes or delegate work to them. Hiring, supervising, and paying helpers. An employee may act as a foreman for the employer, but if so, helpers are paid with employer funds. Continuing relationship. An employee often continues to work for the same employer month after month or year after year. Set hours of work. An employee may work on call or during working hours and days as set by the employer. Full-time required. An employee ordinarily devotes full-time service to that employer, or the employer may have a priority on the employee's time. Location where service is performed. Employment is indicated if the employer has the right to mandate where services are performed. Order or sequence set. An employee performs services in the order or in the sequence set by the employer. This shows control by the employer. Oral or written reports. An employee may be required to submit regular oral or written reports about the work in progress. Payment by the hour, week, or month. An employee is typically paid by the employer in regular amounts at stated intervals, such as by the hour or by the week. Payment of business and travel expenses. An employee's business and travel expenses are either paid directly or reimbursed by the employer. Furnishing tools and equipment. Employees are furnished all necessary tools, materials, and equipment by the employer. Significant investment. An employee generally has little or no investment in the business. Instead, an employee is economically dependent on the employer. Realized profit or loss. An employee does not ordinarily realize a profit or a loss in a business. Rather, employees are paid for services rendered. Working for more than one firm at a time. An employee ordinarily works for one employer at a time and may be prohibited from joining a competitor. Making services available to the public. An employee does not make his or her services available to the public except through the employer's company. Right to discharge without liability. An employee can be discharged at any time without liability on the employer's part. Right to quit without liability. An employee may quit work at any time without liability on the employee's part. These are some of the questions the Texas Workforce Commission will ask your company to determine if you have employees that you are calling independent contractors. Review all of this information to help you determine what course your business should take as it relates to the individuals who work at your company. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.